How's it, guys, and welcome to my channel. I want to start off by saying thank you to all you guys who give my videos a view, likes, comments, dislikes. You guys know I appreciate it so much. This is not a flat earth debunking video. I thought the time is right for me to express my views and opinions about what's happening in my country and some other issues.
Jonathan on WABC, you're online with Michael Savage and Lauren Southern. Please make your point succinctly without hanging up on Lauren Southern, Jim.
Whites are doing very well in South Africa. They own 97% of the arable land. Yeah.
Well, what's the big voice for? What's your point? Let me ask you something. Where do you live?
I live in New York.
Do you own property?
No.
So you're a Marxist. You'd like to give up someone else's land. Is that it?
No.
What do you know? You just said whites are doing well and they should give the land back.
I've been to South Africa, and they have a head start. So the African national government must...
Are you familiar with what happened in Zimbabwe? Are you familiar at all with what happened with this program?
Zimbabweans farm their own food, so they're doing okay. I don't know.
Now you're outright lying, or you're an ignoramus. Rhodesia, when the farms were largely farmed by whites, was a food exporting nation. After the land was expropriated by Mugabe, the mass murderer, do you know what happened in Zimbabwe?
I'm listening.
No, I'm asking you. You're an expert on South Africa, and you've been there, so you must know what happened in neighboring Rhodesia, Zimbabwe.
In Zimbabwe.
Yeah, what happened after the white farmers were kicked off the land in Zimbabwe? It's a simple question.
But that's beside the point.
No, it's exactly the same point. The people became starvation cases after they took the damn land away. And they went on the world stage and begged for bales of food. You idiot, you! You dumbbell, you Rumpelstiltskin! You do-gooder moron walking around with pomposity and stupidity in the same moment. This is America to a T. Big voice, knows what he's talking about, and didn't know the first thing about what happened in Zimbabwe. Very same thing is going to happen in South Africa.
This guy just shows the level of misinformation and propaganda making the rounds. There are about 10 million Zimbabweans in South Africa. A lot of them are working for white people as maids, gardeners, and farmhands. The ANC government is very far removed from the grassroots. They have no clue what's happening or what the hell they should do to make a country functioning. So instead, they take issue with other countries' issues. And now they are standing with Iran. We are all standing with the Iranian people, but not the government. Soleimani was a terrorist, and he was killed because his intention was to kill other people, especially Americans. Rachel Maddow hates Donald Trump. She was singing Russian collusion together with this guy, Don Lemon. How do they feel that the black government of South Africa wants to kill Americans without distinguishing race? What about this brainless one? Got the same idea as Zimbabwe and the ANC government. Take from the people who work for it and give it to the people who won't. And coming back to Zimbabwe, I tried to find out why the young ones ran to South Africa. Most of these guys are young. The one guy I spoke to, he came here when he was 15, and now he's 22. And they say that no one knows how to use the equipment. I mean, if I was them, instead of chasing and murdering the whites, I would have went to them and said, hey, what you doing there? Can you show me so I can also be successful? No, not black people. No, rather just chase the white people away, act as if we know what we're doing, and just carry on. It's obviously a cop-out that they don't know how to use the equipment, because I mean, it must be very easy to learn how to drive a grader or a tractor. Or, I mean, do it the old-fashioned way. Get an ox. But either way, it's not about the land, because can I tell you a secret? In the beginning, when they were organizing the land with expropriation, there are many farmers who sold their farms with obviously the prospect of that land being given to the people who it belongs to, or however they worked it out. But that land is still in the hands of the government, and there are many people crying, waiting for their land. And another example is Freedom Park. That, housing development was sanctioned by Nelson Mandela for people. He gave the people houses for free. And do you know what the people did? They sold it off to Zimbabweans and Nigerians. The place that was built by Nelson Mandela for people are sold off to foreigners. And in Hammanskraal, they've got the land, but they don't have the knowledge or the capability of toiling that ground. The levels of corruption in the ANC is way too much to describe in a 10-minute video. I have rehashed so many things so many times. I mean, South Africa is in the middle of a water crisis. Can you believe it? A country surrounded by ocean, and the lady who was in charge of the water and sanitation lost, mismanaged, or stole 42 billion rand. Yet, it only takes 10 billion rand to build one desalination plant. I mean, you stick a desalination plant here and there and maybe another 2 more, and we won't have any crisis. I don't understand. The corruption of South African government is so intertwined, and it involves so many departments, so many people, on so many levels. It's just mind-boggling, and the list goes on and on. We start with SAA, PRASA, SANRAL, the Post Office, VBS Bank, the Guptas, Tigeta, Trillions, the prison, NPA. What is also very frustrating for me is this advocating of the hatred for white people. You know, yes, white people have done some really bad things, but so have many other groups of people. So we can't stand on holier than thou attitude and point fingers. We need to be the better people. An eye for an eye makes us all blind. So I would like to take this opportunity to kindly remind the certain demographics of people who want the white people stuff but not the white people, that actually most of the innovations, inventions and discoveries without which we wouldn't be anywhere near where we are now were made by white people. In no particular order: the steam engine, the steam locomotive, steam-powered water pump, the microwave oven, aviation, tar roads, the telephone, the television, telex, the microphone, the first person in space, light bulbs, electricity, the first heart transplant, the discovery of our galaxy, the invention of the telescope, the internet, cellular phones. The list just goes on. And they can farm too.